Oh, I'm here. Stream part 2. I'm going to do some coding. Lots of coding. Okay. Here's the plan. I need a game world where I can change between two worlds. I'm going to do them all in one room editor. One level editor. On two separate layers. So I can seamlessly change. Every object is going to have a sprite assigned for the first state and the sprite assigned for the second state. So I can place them all in one room, and then if I want them to only exist in one state or the other state, then I put them on the equivalent layer. This might be a bad plan, but that's what I'm going to start with, because that way, when I'm trying to like make changes to the level design, I don't have to make two separate rooms and like tab back and forth between them. That would be miserable. It just seems like a bad idea. So that's the idea. First off, I have a game control object, which I made. And this is where I got when I decided I'd stream. Go to room main. In room main, we should have the player. I can close room initialize. I should never need to look at it again. Player, hide that. Control. All this is good. Okay, let's run it. And not forget to drink water. Okay. I'll put that in like a cup or something. It'd be easier to drink. The player doesn't do anything. That just tells me I'm in the right room. Okay. Now for every object, this is going to be all. I'm going to use the all control object, and everything is going to inherit from this. So actually, I can do that for the player inherits from all. This is everything that will be affected. Now you've had a drink, redeem hydration. Okay. Ah! I got water on me. Yeah, it's fine. As water drops on my glasses. It's okay. Okay. I need to think about this a little bit, because one thing I could do is like something like this. Instances both. So then I think you'd actually just be switching between A and B. Things that were on the both layer will be moved to the A or B layer, depending on which one you're on. So everything's on the same layer during gameplay. I drink nothing but coffee all day, so probably need hydration. Yeah, coffee's all right, but water is definitely just a bit better. And then things that I place on only A or only B will stay on those layers instead of changing. Now, this does mean that my code is now dependent on layers, which I did in the last librarian. It was miserable, but I think this is going to be better than trying to work on two separate rooms and make sure they perfectly overlap. And what I will do is for every game object, I will make children, which are variations on that game object, for the both layer, the A layer, and the B layer. And since we're pretty sure it's going to be a time travel thing, I'm actually going to do this. So both past and future. And then, yeah, so they'll be assigned by their layer. Anything that's on the both layer will travel with you when you change. Anything that's only on one of the two layers in this initial state will stay where it is. I wish it was easier to see which layer something was on, though. Do the layer filters, because one thing I could do is problem is this is going to filter which of these do any of these affect only the layer below? Oh, that color grading, I should check that for daughter regimes, because then I could just like color code them Effect layers. I'll worry about that in a second. Okay, so for all, when the room starts, I'm going to need to do some code so that I know which layer they were on and where they should go. Also for all, I want a create event that's going to give me some variables. And then I want to open this in its own tab. There we go. This is all create, and I don't need event inherited. This is all room start. And this also doesn't need that. Okay. So when the room starts, layer is going to control, this variable contains a layer ID, right? I turned off feather because it was making the room editor crap itself, but I'm going to turn it back on until I need feather. Oh, damn it. Speaking of the room editor crapping itself, I probably am going to want a tile set too. Okay, I have an idea for that, but I'm not going to worry about it yet because I'm going to definitely want objects or instances that travel between layers. What I can do is just have a tile set that shares sprites with those instances, and then I just change the tile set when you actually change layers. Let's send feather back so that I can see what type things are. What type is layer? id.layer. Okay, so I need layer get ID, right? Then instead of all, I will use game, and I'm going to store a couple, I'm going to cache a couple things when the room starts. And it's game jam code, so I'm not going to do this correctly. I'm going to do game room start. And then I'm just going to straight up check. This isn't going to work because of race conditions. Does create or room start happen first? Event order. Create event, game start event, creation code. Okay. So I'm going to do this differently. Room start, delete. I'm going to make a new controller object, layers. This one will not be persistent, and it will be in room main. I'm going to make a control layer. And the create event of the layers will set everything up. Okay. And so layers, and then I'm going to declare some variables. They're just going to be the name of the control equals layer get ID control. I just want to cache these for convenience sake because I'm going to use them a lot more than I would in most projects. Past. That's a typo here. And both. Okay, then we can have, other layers here that I'll cache in the future if I need them. This seems like a nice, just line everything up with tabs moment. Look at that. Perfect. So we should have access to layers now in the room start event of everything. And that's good because create will happen first. So I can define these variables. Static, no, I can't use that as a keyword. I'm going to use the term range in the design document, which is linked. Okay. So at the room start, we're going to check. If layer equals layers dot both, then we're going to say linked equals true and layer equals layers dot default layer. And I will put that in the layers object, I think. Yeah, default layer is a fine name. And it's going to be layers dot past. For now, that can be easily changed. So for anything that's on the both layer at the start of the room, it's going to say, hey, I'm on... It's going to say, hey, I'm on the both layer, which means I'm linked, so I know. And then I'm going to go to the default layer, which is the past layer, and then the game will initialize on the past layer. Okay, so by default, there's going to be 2 sprites for the past and 1 for the future, so that we can change them, or we can set them to be the same sprite if we don't want to change them. And then that way, and it will just be the default index. For any other objects I create, they will be descendants of all, and I will, in the create event, override these variables, and if any of them are always linked, then I will just mark them as linked. Instead of naming this instances, I'm just going to name it future, past, and both. And that means I need to update the layers here. There we go. Okay, 1 second. I need to clean my glasses. The water is more annoying than I expected it to be. Doo-doo. Gotta love microfiber cloths. Okay. You get a name. Layer get name. Layer ID. Okay. I want a debug object. That can go into initialize and be persistent. Debug. Excellent. And in the debug, I will be debug create enabled equals true. And then in the step event of debug, I want the inspector for the room to be in its own. No, put it back. Let's just put the layers there. Okay, so debug. I can still see layers. Okay. The debug, I need a step event. Actually, I just need to draw a GUI event right now. Debug draw GUI. Player is going to be a singleton, so I'm going to name it caps. Oh, hey, thanks, Feather. You fixed it. Okay, so if I put the player on the both layer and I run the game now, it should go to the past, and that's what I should see in the corner. And if I change the default layer to future, they should go to the future. Good. Let me do that. That's the other thing. Cool. First try is a charm. Let us add some more debug tools so that I don't have to deal without them for too long. Still nervous about this layer thing. It might be a really terrible idea. But it's what I gotta do, you know. Can you hold on? Instance deactivate. You can instance deactivate a whole layer. Okay, this is actually a genius idea. Oh yeah, this is the way I want to do it. I didn't know that existed, but that's perfect. I can deactivate everything on the wrong layers. And then when you change layers, you just activate, deactivate. Boom. Well, you move everything that is marked as linked to the new layer. Then you activate everything and deactivate everything on the old layer. It's 3 lines of code. Well, a with statement plus 3 lines of code. Okay, so in the step event, if keyboard check pressed, vk escape. I'm not going to use input for this because it's debug. So I should be able to. I don't need to test that. Don't run that code. Why is this? It's fine. It's fine. It's correct. That's the right number of parentheses, right? I'm not crazy. It's fine. What's next? Drink more water. That's what's next. Unbeatable. So now I have 2 worlds, and I can't move between them yet. That's what I probably should do next. Here, that folder. Let me commit this. Two worlds, move between them, boom, game done, theme complete. Yeah, let's do that. I'll be done with the game in 15 seconds. Not a little bit more than that, but what I want is a global function like this. That can go into control. Okay, just gonna call it script control because I'm gonna put a bunch of things in here. Okay, so I want a move to let's code move to future first. And then transition to the future. And then I will make a move to past, and I might generalize it. So I think that move to future, move to past will actually just set some layer parameters and then like call a different function that changes layers so that I don't have to make edits to both. But I'm going to code move to future raw first. I love how much more advanced and complex GML GameMaker has come since GMS 1.x day. Yes, me too. It's the only reason I'm employed doing GameMaker at all, and that I feel like I can really use it professionally. All the many changes, especially since 2.3. Let's say move to future. Okay, so what needs to happen then? I need to say with all, but capital all, that's my own version of all, which will exclude all the controller objects. If, and let me just do this with another line of code. If linked layer equals layers.future. Sprite index equals sprite future. And And then we say activate layer, layers.future, instance deactivate layer, layers.past. That's aesthetic. Look at that. Nice rectangle. That's it. Okay. I need a sample wall, sample object, group assets, create sprite, wall, nice bright yellow wall. I'm going to create an object. I'm going to make it inherit from capital all. Okay, so now in remain, on both, I should have this wall. On the past, I should only have this wall. And on the future, I should have this wall. That. Okay. So now if I add a debug call to change from the past to the future, then I can see if that works, and then I'll add the go back to the past function as well. Oh, but I also have to do initialize. Okay. There's going to be one problem, which is this also needs to it's going to deactivate the future because the default layer is the past, which means when this starts, I actually need to basically, instead of having all of the all codes set their layer like this, I need to have the layers object move them all, but after this. Yeah, sorry, that's hard to explain. It'll be fine. Last thing I need to do is add a debug call for what should it be? VK numpad 1 and 2 is what I'm going to use. Numpad 2. Nope. Wait. Future. What's the name of the function? Move to future. Okay. Let's see how that. I think I probably messed it up somewhere. It got a little complicated there. I didn't expect them all to vanish. Wait, actually, hold on. Did numpad 2, does numpad 2 only mean the numpad? That's fine, but... Okay, actually, I don't know about that. Let's test that, but then something happened. I disabled everything instead of only some of it. What? I'm silly. I deactivated all the control objects, of course. Wait. They should be on the control layer. Oh, but I didn't make the control layer. This might just fix it. No, not quite. That's the only control object there. Tells all to disable, get disabled. Yeah, okay, I told everything on a layer to disable, or so I thought, but I messed it up somewhere. Oh. Okay, I can't go back, but that works. I just went to the future. I knew I would have messed it up on my first pass. I don't use the instant deactivate functions very often. But this seemed like a good option, at least for very convenient coding. I'm glad it was an easy bug to fix. I think the fact that the control objects were on the instances layer would also have caused issues, but different issues. Okay. So now the thing is that I want to start the game by moving to the layer. Okay, which means I need all. The room start code on all needs to go here instead. This will be okay, I think. Because then on the room start event in layers is where I can move everything. No, there's a reason I need pre-create. Don't need pre-create. Don't listen to me. Because I have to let these initialize first. So man, I hate this kind of thing. I can just like go into the room and take this object and be like, hey, I want you to be at the top of the list. But I don't like relying on that because then it causes bugs later. Oh. I just do it in the layers. It's a nice... Okay, let me test this first, and then I can move things around. Sick. We'll say move to layer. I'm going to make this a private method. No, that's fine. Move to layer, and it's going to be a default layer. This is just going to set some parameters. Move to layer. So now we're going to have... Basically, this should only accept future or past. So I'm actually even going to check lay ID not equal to layers.future. I don't know if this helps much because, like, look at this. I'm still going to have an if statement. If layer is that, do that. If layer is that, do that. So I think I kind of just want to make two functions, move to future, move to past, and hard code them to be opposites of each other. Like, I think this is going to work better. I can make it generalized if I can think of a better solution, but right now I can't. Debug. Boom. Move to past. Okay, so then the layers in the create event, it's going to be if default layer equals layers dot past. Move to the past, else move to future. I should be able to swap back and forth on demand. Never mind. Wall.sprite past. Wall? Wait a second. It should have. Should be fine. Does the wall. It should inherit that. What happened? This needs to be in room start because room start. Of race conditions. What I'm talking about. Two worlds, it's done. The game is done, everybody. Also, yeah, the numpad is just for the numpad. Now let me take one more look at the. Didn't quite need to close. Okay, hold on. I do actually just need to close a bunch of stuff now that. Because this I don't really like. Because every time I add, like if I add another variable to the linked objects that I want to change when you change layers, then then I have to put it in both move to future and move to past. But I can't think of a convenient way to do that. I could do the layers stuff, like it would just be a change layers and you have an old layer and a new layer call. So I am going to do that. Change active layer. Okay, so what I do is I need to cache which layer is which. Start on both. Actually, that doesn't matter because everything's going to move off of both. Nothing will stay on the both layer. So I don't have to deactivate anything there. There won't be anything there. They are going to move. So if previous layer is undefined or previous layer is not equal to the new layer, actually I just do this. We deactivate the previous layer if it isn't undefined. So the first time we call it, we're not going to deactivate anything. After that, we will. Then we activate the new layer. This is probably overkill. It doesn't really matter that much, but let's activate them first and then deactivate them. Okay, so then this would be change active layer, and we should be layers dot. Or instead of change, it should be set. So that it's clear which one you're making the new active layer. And I want this to be layers.past. And this one's going to be layers.future active layer. This was probably over engineering for Jam code. See if it works though. But I think it will. This stuff is important to get right, or I will have. Okay, so the only problem is that it didn't deactivate the first time because of this thing here. Which heck, let's just deactivate both layers. I was overcomplicating it. Then activate whichever one you chose. Even this is overcomplicated. Really, you don't need this whole check, but whatever. It's better this way. Put in my region blocks. And then I'll commit this. Boom. There's our layer management. I'll make Okay, category, layer management. Okay, double check this. Okay, let me add a separate sprite for F. I'm going to start making them F and P. That's fine. Oh, I came up with a way. Yeah, this will work for now. Okay, let me make sure this works. Sprite future equals SPR wall F. Sprite past equals SPR wall past. And let's make the past one a different shade of yellow. Or, let's make it green. Past future. So now they should change colors, but they should still be the same thing. Uh-oh. What? Oh, the layer activation needs to happen before the whisk call happens. Also, let's make them both yellow instead of just different shades. No. Yeah, let's make them both green with different shades. Don't worry, I'm going to get a color palette. Bright green for the future, sure. And let me make the player yellow. So this is why I'm testing, because this the set active layer. Oh, damn. Okay, so they need to move first. If linked layer equals lay ID. Yep. And then set their sprite afterwards. What the heck? What happened? This should work. Sprite past, sprite future. Like, which one is showing up is correct, but only the one that's shared is actually updating its sprite. That's the problem here. So the ones on the future layer are there, but then this doesn't work. Let me test something. When you activate, they need one frame to use in with statements, I think, is the problem. Yeah, the activation is not instantaneous, and an instance that has been activated this way will not be considered active until the end of the event in which the function was called. Fantastic. So if I do this as a call later, Wait, there we go. This is janky, but just to test that this is correct. I call it 1 frame later, then it should update that. We should actually see. What? It didn't work. Huh? Wait, that actually really shocks me. Two frames? Oh. This is why I test. Only the linked ones are doing it. I don't even need this call later. I'm silly. I thought with all should still work. With works even when they're deactivated, if I remember correctly. But I should probably know that too. Okay, it was just because I was only doing the linked ones. That's the logic was right there. I'm silly. Now they're correct colors. Future, bright green, past, dark green. Or, you know, still pretty bright green. That's pretty satisfying. Game is done. This is at least a much more reasonable thing, setting the layers like this. This is 2 lines of code. If I need to add more sprites, I can just put them in here or whatever. Much less likely for me to mess it up the way it is now. Besides, you know, how I mess it up when writing it. The previous one, set up layers, layer transitions. Okay, what's next? Next is crates. So I want the player to be able to pick up objects and carry them around and place them again. This is something I did in Daughter of Dreams. I'm going to use it again for this. But a little bit more complicated. And then I want to be able to, like, you know, have the player carry them between time travels. So you can, like, take something from the future, time travel to the past, use it to navigate something in the past. 15 minutes before I must go. Okay, I'm going to stream for 12 more minutes. So exactly 1 hour. Let's see if I can code crates in 1 hour. Or if it in 12 minutes, sorry. It's been 48 already. The crate is going to look the same in both because they don't need to look different. For now, it is going to be a pink square. GML crate %. Yes, I'm going to do it. Oh no, I committed a cardinal sin. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody. It never happened. Run's dead. You saw nothing. I just didn't want to touch it, so I used GitHub. And this should be parent all. Okay. Now the tricky thing actually is going to be that even a non-linked object, if the player is carrying it, will need to be linked. So by default, it will be on one layer, but if the player picks it up, then they can go between layers. So I'll just add a little bit of extra layer code for like everything in the player's hold queue um, will be transitioned along with the player. So just a special case for that. But that should be fine. Here's a crate. Let me go put some in my room. Put one in both, one in the past and one in the future. Instances. Here's a crate. Past. Future. Okay. So let me make sure first of all that this does work. Easy. Oh, I don't even have player movement. Hold on. Crate percent delayed. We need to add player movement first. Close that. I only want script control. Close, 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 close. Okay. Run invalid, didn't have player movement script. Yeah, I have one. Actually, hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna copy some movement code from a different project later. For now, I'm just gonna make the most jank one that I can. You'd think I'd have this in my project. I should add it to my sample project. Why would I code this every time? But no, it's fine. Okay. God dang it. What did I do wrong? Oh. Nice. Perfect, pristine movement. One more thing I'm gonna create. Speed equals 2. Okay. Well, player movement speed run in 3 minutes. Pretty good. Okay, this is probably too fast. Okay, that's fine. Regions. Okay. Okay, the crates I also need a crate event for. Now the player's moving with subpixels. Yeah, that'll be okay. It's already being rendered with subpixels. My camera is 2 times scaled, so it can actually render up to 0.5 subpixels. Which is why I love my super janky camera code, because it can do that. I come into all kinds of other problems thanks to that problem. But not subpixels. Subpixels are great. What was it? I lost my train of thought. Okay, I needed to have a variable to know if it's been grabbed or not. If okay, var inst Okay, this is a little bit weird. I mean, yeah, I can't speedrun this one. I need to think about it more because I want I want the crates to follow the player around, and I can just put them in the queue and then draw them. Uh, what if I just make the crates in the queue completely abstract? Can I get? Does this do what I think it does? Will this give me sprite crate because I attach it to that object? But the problem is, what if I want them to be able to change depending on which phase? Okay, so if a crate is grabbed, I'm going to put it out of bounds and then draw its current sprite over top of the player so that you can't interact with them with the collision code. That's unnecessary because of how I'm going to do this, but managing crates. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, I'm gonna do a with statement because that's three lines of code. It's worth doing a with. Okay, so this line is just putting them out of bounds. And then I increment my crate count. Now the player needs a draw step. Draw. That's what happened there. Okay, hold on. I'm going to break this down further. I times 2 times 8. Placing? Just placing? Okay. Oh my god, what happened to the player? Oh. Nice. Okay, crate 1, crate 2, change to the future, crate 3. Great. Yeah, I can now pick up crates. I'm going to do more like this. I don't know what the offset is. Offset times 15. That's too slow. This needs to be way faster. 30. No. 25. Times 12. 8 is too low, so we'll make that 10. And I'm going to put the camera into full screen mode because I now have escape. Nope. Oh, wrong offset, huh? Should offset that differently. Anyways, I can carry crates. I'll probably have them lean every which way depending on which player. So I'm actually going to remove the animation here. For now, I'll just put the offset like this. It'll just be just a straight stack. Boom, boom, boom. What? Okay, that's correct. And I can have them like lean a little bit if you go left or right. But that's polish. I don't have to do that right now. So then the placing would just be pull from the bottom of that stack and put them again where they were. And then don't collide. Don't be able to pick them up again until you have no longer collided with them. Yeah. Okay, picking up crates, done. Placing crates, I don't have time to do. That's it for this stream. I won't stream all of the development, but I'll be streaming when I have time. Actually, this is probably all I'm going to be doing today. Anyways, besides maybe a little bit more level design when I meet with my friend later. But I don't want to overwork myself this weekend. I have been working all day, so we will be, we'll have plenty of time to finish. I don't think the scope of this will get too crazy. So thanks, folks, for watching. Have a good evening. Good luck in the jam. And I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, for at least one stream. Well, I will stream at least once tomorrow. Bye-bye.